I think property prices have increased at something ridiculous like 141% since 2010. And, people will say it's supply and demand, it's increased value. Yes, there is supply and demand. And the city is, I think we've increased by we're close to 5 million now, up from 3.7 million in 2011, which was the time they did the last city census. But there's also touristflation, which is what is happening now in the city. And it's something to me, at least from an economic standpoint, because that is what the city likes to come at, to say these tourists are benefiting the economy. But to me, is it not a better long term investment to invest in the upward economic mobility of the residents who live in the city and will continue to live in the city for extended periods of time, who themselves will then pour back into their direct communities and into the city's economy? Because, and this is also an issue I have with all these digital nomads, is that a few years ago, Bali was the destination to be. Now it's Cape Town. I mean, Japan is also going through something very similar, whereas you have these tourist destination spots that
Mhm.
surge up every few years. And what you're going to see is that everyone is now putting up apartments on the Atlantic seaboard. In a few years, when something has to happen in Cape Town, we hit another pandemic, what is going to happen to those apartments? When crime starts to increase inside the city center, when more people start to become homeless, what is going to happen to these big property developers? And the fact that the city is not prioritizing the citizens who live here, who have built the city, who keep the city alive, who come in and out of the city every single day to service these tourists, I think is an absolute devastation. And to me, again, from an economic standpoint, it is more beneficial in the long term to invest in the upward mobility of the residents who live in the area, who will pull back into the communities, than these tourists who, in 5 years, don't want to come to Cape Town anymore because they're like, oh, there's somewhere new in the world that we want to live and
Mhm.
explore.